I'm James from Bike Lock Wiki, and in this video we're going to be checking out the essential bike lock maintenance tips that you should be following to ensure your bike lock stays rust-free and smooth when in use. To ensure proper protection against rust and corrosion, we need to ensure all moving parts of your lock are lubricated. To simplify these maintenance steps, I've broken them down into the specific lock types. We've got cable locks, chain locks, U-locks, and folding locks, which are the four most popular types of bike lock on the market. Because locks are typically used outside, they're frequently exposed to rain, humidity, dust and dirt, and over time these contaminants can build up and cause corrosion on a bike lock. All you'll need to carry out regular bike lock maintenance is your bike lock, its key, a clean cloth or towel, and a lock specific lubricant. Now I always opt for ABUS's PS88, which is a lock specific lubricant which is designed for bike locks and all other lock types. But you can also use other lubricants such as Teflon and graphite powder lubricants. I've included chapters in the play bar just below, so go ahead and select your lock type to begin your bike lock maintenance. U-locks, otherwise known as D-locks, have three main areas that require regular cleaning and lubrication: the locking ends of the shackle, the locking bolts of the locking mechanism, and the internal locking cylinder. Before we can begin lubricating any of these three areas, we do need to ensure that all areas of the lock are free from dirt and grime. First, take your cloth and wipe away any visible dirt on your U-lock. Once you're satisfied that the common areas are all clean, it's time to begin cleaning the internals. Remove the shackle from your lock and wipe down both ends that insert into the locking mechanism, making sure to remove all stubborn grease and grime. Once clean, take the locking crossbar of your U-lock and with the locking holes facing the ground, spray a few blasts of your lubricant inside either hole. This will help to flush out any foreign particles and help to dislodge any gunk and grime from inside. Wipe away any excess lubricant and insert the shackle into the lock a few times to help unstick dirt. Then remove and wipe down the shackle as you just did and spray either end of the shackle with your lock specific lubricant and place it to one side. Give another squirt of lube to either side of the locking mechanism on the locking crossbar, followed by a few turns of the key to encourage penetration. Finally, we want to lubricate the locking cylinder. With your locked cylinder facing the ground, spray several blasts of lubricant into the locking mechanism to flush out any foreign particles. Wipe away any excess before inserting your key and giving it a few twists to allow the lubricant to penetrate and loosen any sticky parts. Now wipe your key down, and if it wipes dirty, repeat the previous step until the key wipes clean. Finish by spraying several blasts of lubricant into your U-lock's locking cylinder with the keyhole facing upwards to allow complete lubrication of all internal parts. Again, insert the key and give it a few twists to aid distribution. Finish by wiping the locking crossbar clean and putting your lock back together. Your U-lock is now cleaned and lubricated, so skip to the final chapter of the video for several key rust prevention tips. Folding locks have the most moving parts, so require slightly more maintenance than other lock types. To protect your folding lock from corrosion, we'll need to clean and lubricate each of the lock's rivets, the locking cylinder, the end of the locking plate, and the internal locking mechanism. Using your clean cloth, thoroughly wipe down the outside of your folding lock to remove any dirt. If your lock has any removable parts such as a rubber mechanism housing, remove these and clean underneath. Next, take your lock specific lubricant and, working one at a time, give each rivet a good blast of lubricant to remove any grime from inside. Once all of the rivets are lubricated, flex the lock to apply an even spread and then wipe down any excess lubricant. Now unlock your folding lock and wipe down the locking plate using a clean section of your cloth to remove foreign particles. Finish this by spraying a small amount of lubricant onto your cloth and applying a light layer to the locking end of the plate. Then rotate the locking mechanism to face the ground and spray several blasts into the opening. Allow any excess lube to leave the lock, as this will help to flush out dirt from inside. Wipe away any excess lube and spray one final squirt into the locking mechanism, inserting and twisting your keys several times to encourage penetration of moving parts. Now to lubricate the locking cylinder. Face the keyhole towards the ground and apply several bursts of lubricant inside, allowing gravity to flush out any grime. Wipe clean before inserting your key and turning it in the cylinder to encourage proper penetration of all moving parts. Now wipe the key clean, and if it wipes dirty, repeat the previous steps until properly cleaned. One final spray of lubricant into the keyhole, this time facing upwards, before repeating several key turns and wiping the lock down. To finish, if you took your lock apart, put the cover back on and leave the lock to dry off before use. You've now cleaned and lubricated your folding lock, so skip to the final chapter of the video for several key rust prevention tips. There are two different types of chain locks, integrated and conventional chains. If you're using a conventional chain with a padlock, wipe the outer cover and end links clean, and then follow my steps for U-locks to clean and lubricate your padlock or similar locking device. The three areas of an integrated chain lock that require cleaning and lubrication are the locking chain link, the internal locking mechanism, and the locking cylinder. First, unlock your chain and wipe down the outer protective cover to remove loose dirt. If possible, remove the cover from your chain to clean and lubricate the chain links below. Otherwise, don't worry about this step. Apply lock-specific lubricant to your cloth and wipe down the locking link of the chain. Next, with your lock in the unlocked position, keeping the opening facing the ground, apply several bursts of lubricant inside, encouraging any dirt to flush out. Wipe away any excess lube and insert the locking end of the chain into the mechanism to further encourage stubborn grime to detach before wiping the locking link clean. Once satisfied that the mechanism opening is clean, apply one more small burst of lubricant into the mechanism. Insert your key and rotate it several times to encourage distribution across all moving parts. If, like mine, your chain lock uses a keyhole cover, then spray a few bursts on top of the keyhole entrance before inserting the key to allow the lube to seep inside. With your key inside, rotate it several times whilst changing the angle of the mechanism to improve internal lubricant distribution. Your chain lock is now cleaned and lubricated, so skip to the final chapter for several key rust prevention tips. Like U-locks, cable locks have three internal areas that we need to clean: the locking end of the cable, the internal locking mechanism, and the keyhole/combination dials. Start by giving your cable lock a good wipe down with your cloth, removing any dirt from the exterior. Next, unlock the cable and wipe all dirt off the locking end before applying some lock-specific lubricant to your cloth and giving the locking end of the cable a light coating. Now, take your lubricant and with the mechanism facing the ground, give it several sharp bursts so that gravity helps remove any foreign particles from inside. Then wipe away any excess lube. Next, use the locking end of the cable to probe the inside of the mechanism and wipe it clean to check for any dirt and grime. If it does wipe dirty, repeat the previous steps until clean. Spray a small amount of your lock-specific lube between the dials and rotate them to encourage penetration. Using your cloth, wipe the dials clean and your lock is now good to go. If your lock is operated by a key instead of a dial, go to the final stages of the U-lock chapter and follow the steps there to clean your cable's locking cylinder. With your bike lock now cleaned and lubricated, I've got several quick tips to prevent corrosion down the line. First, regular maintenance is essential. This means cleaning or lubricating once every 2 months or once every month, depending on how much you're using your lock. Next, if your lock gets wet, wipe it down with a clean cloth when you get home and re-lubricate if required. Tip 3 is, if you're not going to be using your bike lock for a long period of time, ensure you thoroughly lubricate all areas of the lock to ensure no rust occurs whilst it's not in use. Tip 4, when not using your bike lock, store it inside in a clean and dry place rather than leaving it outside exposed to the elements. Tip 5 is buying a good quality bike lock to begin with will mean that it's less susceptible to corrosion in the long run. Tip 6, if your bike lock offers one, use its keyhole mechanism cover. These prevent dirt and debris from entering the mechanism in the long run, ultimately reducing the amount of cleaning you'll have to do when carrying out your regular bike lock maintenance. And finally, if you do spot rust on your bike lock, the faster you act, the better. If you leave your lock to sit dirty and unlubricated, more stubborn rust can set in, which can ultimately damage the structural integrity of your bike lock. I've tried to keep this video as concise as possible, as I know bike lock maintenance isn't the most exciting topic. If you do have any questions, drop them down in the comments section below and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, drop a like on the video if you found it helpful, and feel free to subscribe to the Bike Lock Wiki channel for more bicycle security content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.